What do you do with your photos once you've processed them? Do you share them online? Do you maybe make prints? But have you ever forgotten about them? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. I completely forgot about an entire collection of images that I had made. So in this video, I'm going to show you what I did with them, and I hope it will inspire you to do something with your photographs. Back in October, I went to the Isle of Skye in Scotland. Now this was a big photography trip for me. I've been planning it for over a year. It took me 2 days to get there, it took me 2 days to get back, it cost me quite a lot of money. I'd invested a lot into this photography trip. So you can imagine my surprise a few months later after I got back when I realised I'd done nothing really with the pictures. Now what I normally do when I get back from a photography trip is to first of all import all the pictures, and then I'll make sure that they're backed up. I then move on to post-processing and I'll make sure all the metadata is added. I'll then take the best of those images and I'll create a blog post for my website and share them that way. And then I'll probably take a few more of those images and share them across my various social media channels. Now, if it's a really big and exciting trip, I might try and do something a bit more creative, like I did for my Harris and Lewis trip, where I printed off a whole bunch of those images and created my home gallery. Now, if you want to see how I went about creating that home gallery, I've already done a video on that, and I'll include a link for that in the corner of the screen. But for some reason, for the Isle of Skye photos, I never made it past the post-processing stage. So with all that time and money and effort spent on creating those photographs from Skye, I decided I really needed to do something with them. So I've decided to create a photo book. Now this is nothing fancy. I'm not planning on selling the photo book. I haven't thought loads and loads about the layout. I just wanted to create a book, really, for me to enjoy so I could look back on my adventure in Skye. Now, I appreciate there are many book publishing services out there, but the one that I've chosen to go with is Blurb. Now, I'm neither sponsored nor this video is paid for by Blurb, but I have been a customer of Blurb for well over 10 years. Most of the books that I've created and bought from them have all been sort of family books, family photo album type books, but this will be the first time I've used them to create a book with my landscape photographs. The other reason I'm using Blurb is its direct integration into Lightroom. So when you go into the book module, it allows you to create a Blurb book within Lightroom. So all I have to do is drag and drop the pictures onto the layout that I want, and then I can click and send, and it goes straight to Blurb. It makes the whole process nice and easy. Right, we're going to quickly jump into Lightroom, and I'm going to quickly show you how I went about creating this photo book. Like I said, this book is for my own personal use. It's not my intention in this video to give you professional advice on how to do book layout. That's well beyond my skills and well beyond the scope of this video. But I just wanted to quickly show you how you can take a collection of your images that are already in Lightroom and create a nice, simple photo book. Okay, I've got Lightroom open. Let's make a start. So I've got my collection of images here. I've already narrowed down everything. The only additional image that I've got here is going to be my cover page. I've already formatted it and added in the text how I see fit. Just a very simple text layout for this book. Next thing to do is to click on the book module. And one of the first things Lightroom does is it tries to automatically lay out all the pictures in a default book. Well, we'll clear that layout in just a second. First thing we do is we want to click on Create Saved Book, and we'll give it a name. Click on Create. So now you can see on the left-hand side of Lightroom here, I've got a book called Isle of Skye. Now the next thing I want to do is select the book size and format. There are a number of different options here that you'll find on the right-hand side. I've gone for standard landscape size. Now if you go to Blurb's website, you can see all the dimensions of the different book sizes. I'm going to choose a hardcover image wrap. There's also, depending on the book type that you select, things like soft cover as well. Now the reason I've only got hardcover is because I've chosen the standard lay flat book type. Now I've chosen this book type. It is the most expensive book type to have because I'm going to be putting panoramic images into the book, and they're going to be spread across 2 pages. So when I open the book to have a look at those panoramic images, I want the book to lay flat so I can make the most of that panoramic image. Now, while that is the most expensive option, it is well worthwhile going to Blurb's website, setting up an account and signing up for their newsletters, because quite often there are discount codes that they send out, and you can get some quite decent discounts off the book prices. But yeah, if you went for a slightly simpler book layout, so if you were to choose a different book format, for example, you went in and chose premium luster, that allows you then to select items such as hard dust jacket or even soft cover, and using those slightly different cheaper book options really brings down the price. I'm now going to click on the clear layout button, and that gives me a default layout to start working with my images and placing them where I want them to go. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to put my cover image in, and I'm going to have to change the default layout to do that. So the default layout for the front cover and the back cover is it's two separate images, so I'm just going to delete this photo cell here. I'm going to grab the cell on the left here and I'm going to drag it across both pages. This will allow me to take my panoramic image of the text on it and I simply drop it on to the book there. You can have a closer look, and there's my cover. That's as nice and easy. That's about as complicated as I want this to be. Now that we've got the cover sorted, it's time to start adding in some images to the book. So the first page I got here, it's got a cell here ready for a photograph, full bleed. So I'm just going to grab a picture here. Let's take this one here. I'm going to drop it into the book. Now, because it's a full bleed page, it has cropped the image slightly, but I can adjust that crop. And if I wanted to, I could zoom out to give me the normal aspect ratio for this picture, but I'm quite happy with the way that's looking. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to drag and drop pictures in any old order. This is not going to be the final layout of my book. I'm just using this just to demonstrate the process. I want to add a few more pages, so I'm going to add page. Now that I've got pages added, I can select the different cells. So we can have two different types here. Again, I've got another full bleed one here. I might want to drag this image here, drag that image there, so you can quickly see how the formatting of each one changes. I'm going to add another page. And for this page layout, I'm going to use a little bit of text to remind myself of what this location was. So I'm going to select the cell and I use this drop down box here, and I'm going to select a picture with text. So I can drag my picture of the old manor store here and I can type in some text. And then if I wanted to, I could adjust some of the text sizes and the fonts that get used. I'm just going to add another image here. Let's try this one of the Kerrang. Drop that there. Now I want to add in one of my panoramic images because I want to have this spread across two pages, so when I open the lay flat book, I get to make the most of that panoramic image. If I click on add page and I come here and I change the page format and I use the 2-page spread, again I've got various different options here, but I want a full bleed image across both pages, and I take this panoramic image here, I can drop it in. Again, this is slightly cropped to fit the format of the page, but I'm quite happy with any information that's lost around the edges of this picture. And one last formatting option I want to look at is when I put two images on one page. So click on add page. I'm going to change this format to 2 photos, and I'm going to take 2 vertical format pictures. And let's say I'm going to take these 2 here from Talisker Bay, like that. And that's me added in a couple of vertical images. So really that's about it. Really is about as complicated as my thought process I've put into this book. Obviously I've taken a little bit more time with the actual book that I've ordered myself. I've thought a bit more about the placement of the images in terms of, you know, they're going to group similar locations together and then put all the text in. But principally it's quite easy to do. It's just all that drag and drop. One thing to note is that as you drag and drop the images in, you can see the counter here along the film strip that tells you how many times you've used that particular image. Now that all the pictures are in, I just have to click on the send to blurb button, and that packages up the book, sends it off to Blurb, and then you can go into their website and make an order. Okay, so hopefully that's shown you how easy it is to create a nice simple photo book. I've already sent my order to Blurb and I'm waiting for it to be printed and then dispatched. But when it does arrive, I will share with you the experience of opening it up for the first time and getting to look at those photographs in print form. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, the book is here and I'm very excited to be opening it. But before I do that, I just want to give you a little word of warning. Like I said earlier, I've been ordering books from Blurb for a very long time, but this is the first lay flat book that I've bought from them. Now, the difference here is that the lay flat books are actually printed in America. Unlike most of the other books, I think they're all printed in Europe. So what this means is when you buy a lay flat book and you ship it into the Europe or the United Kingdom, you have to pay import duty. So just allow yourself a little bit of extra money to cover that. So this does make the lay flat book quite an expensive option, but hopefully when we open it, it's all going to be worth it. Okay, let's open the book. Now, very careful with the knife. Just cut it there. Ooh, a little bit nervous. I think just along this edge. Right, let's have a look. Here it is. We'll get rid of that. there we have my book. Let's take a closer look. Right, let's take a look inside. I can't remember what the first picture is. I suspect it's the old man. Yeah, it's the old man of store there, and it looks absolutely glorious in print. Really nice. There's just a little bit of gloss to that paper, and it's quite heavyweight as well. There's quite a bit of thickness to these pages. Got another couple here of the old man. This is a really nice way of actually having a look at your pictures. They really do come alive in print. As you know, that I'm always a bit of a fan when it comes to printing your own work. But it's just really nice to see them in a slightly different medium here in a book. Let's see if I can find one of those panoramic images. There we go. See, we've got a panoramic image of the Kerrang here. And this is the reason I went for the lay flat book, so I could get this nice display of these panoramic images. Just open up the book and you get to see that panoramic image in its full glory. But this is just fantastic. It's just such a nice way to have a look at these photographs. And here we've got some from looking onto the columns. Now, if you want to see these pictures in a bit more detail, I've got them all posted up on the blog article to go with this video. There's a link for that in the video description below and at the end screen. This is fantastic. This is such a pleasure getting to look at some of my images from my adventures in Skye. This beats having them sitting around on a hard drive somewhere. And there's those photographs of Talisker Bay. Oh, this is absolutely fantastic. What a great way to do something with your pictures. Well, I have to say I am really happy with the results in this book. It's just such a much more rewarding experience to look at your photographs in printed form, whether you print them at home or you create a book like this. There's nothing better than having a look at your pictures in the printed format. I'm really happy with the results. Yeah, it was an expensive book to make, but overall, looking at all the money I spent on that trip, for me, I think this is very much worth it. Now, I'm going to have another couple of looks through this book, and then it's going to take pride of place on my bookshelf. Okay, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. Most of all, though, I hope it has inspired you to do something with your photographs. Why don't you go and have a look at your catalogue of images, see if there's any little gems there lying about, a little collection of images that you think you should do something with. So whether you create a photo book like this or you print them off, it's definitely a much more rewarding experience to do something with your photographs. So make sure you get them printed. You don't have to do an expensive photo book like that. There are, like I said, a lot of other cheaper options from Blurb as well, so do take a look at those. But other than that, I hope it has inspired you to do something with your photographs. If you've got a little bit more time, check out some of these videos of mine that I'm popping up on the screen now. And of course, please do like, comment, share the video. And if you want to see more from me, please do click on that subscribe button as well. But until the next one, I'll see you then.